I love being punctual to flights. I come early if possible, except when I don't. So one of them was, again, as you mentioned, the airline's fault. So they can get stuffed. I'm not going to mention the airline, but it was crazy when that happened because they canceled the flight 10 minutes before it was about to go. Right?
Oh.
And everybody around this desk was just like, are you serious right now? Like, what about every single commitment that I've got? And it got to a level of mania where it's just like people were demanding new tickets, demanding the next flight to make space. And then I saw somebody stand up and was like, hey, I've got 5 spots in my car. Who's with me? And then I didn't even have time to process that until 4 other people were like, all right, let's go. And they just got into a car and started driving to that city, like where the plane was meant to go to.
Really?
I was like, oh my God,
That's
what
crazy.
is going on? Yeah. I'm not that much of an adult. So I was like, oh my God, you can do that? It just didn't even come to my mind. And because of that idea, I ended up unfortunately harassing my family who were there to drive. Well, I wanted to drive, but they drove me 7 hours to the place I was meant to go because unfortunately, and I hope my employers are not watching, I called and I was like, oh, I'm so sick on a Monday. And except I was not sick, I was at a different city. And so if I didn't get to my city by the next day, I was going to be in major trouble. And so I was like, I need to go home. I need to leave.
That's, I guess, like a great solution if you're close to where you need to be.
Well, the other solution is break the law, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the other solution. And I'm not going to say whether I did that. However, what a strange thing to mention here. I do have a similar experience, hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
So there was like a very specific convention that is difficult to kind of get to the backstage areas. Okay. It can be tricky. And so I managed to get like the ID or badge to get through. And then I had a friend of mine, and I won't say who was like, hey, can I see that? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then straight away, it's like, you know, like the photocopy sound. It's like, and like they had made a like 1-to-1 Illustrator copy of that badge.
What?
And the ability to kind of change the name, like instead of having my name on, they just put their name on. And then they were like, hey, I can print this out for anyone who wants to get backstage.
Whoa.
And then they did print it out for everyone getting backstage. And it looked legit.
That's a little...
I was complicit in this, right? Because I had given my badge and I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I mean, like sneaking in is more or less harmless. It doesn't really do anything. Like a lot of the time, especially just like most people who just want to be like, hang around, see what's up. It's like, it's really not a big deal. But like when you're like selling it, if you're there with a friend or you want to see someone, it really doesn't make a difference if you're there or not, then yeah, sure. But if you're like selling to somebody, you don't know what their intentions are. Yeah. That's not law abiding at all.
That wasn't me. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I have friends who are not law-abiding citizens. I'll give them credit. They didn't sell it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. They were just giving it out to anyone who asked. Now, this one I have is a bit more personal to you, and I'm curious to see what your answer here is. But never have I ever deleted a post on social media because it didn't get enough likes.
I think I did.
What? Really?
I've never taken down a video on YouTube that didn't do well enough, but on TikTok, there was one that I thought was pretty funny. It was based off of a Magic School Bus sound. And then there was like a hard cut and a scream. And it was like I was carving a pumpkin and then I 3D printed some like teeth and freaky eyes. And then like the scream happened when I showed the pumpkin's face. And it was like moderately silly.
It was goofy. It was certified goofy.
Not my magnum opus. It was just goofy. But it did bad. Like 200 views maybe, max.
Yeah.
And then it plateaued out. And I'm like, I don't want this on my TikTok. And then I privated it. And then I think I've like deleted early day tweets.
Yeah.
I didn't really want on my Twitter anymore because it's, yeah.
Do you find that it was cringe? Is that why you deleted them? Or is it just like...
Yeah. Look, whenever anybody's starting out making content, there's some rough patches. You gotta kind of like trial and error it, and not everything's gonna land. And it's fine. That's okay.
It's fine.
It's also okay to delete it, in my opinion.
Let's be honest here. Twitter is not that good of a platform to worry about that, okay? Like, this place sucks.
Yeah,
this
does.
This is awful.
It's not great.
But I think, like, if there was a way to unlist it or archive those tweets, I would have done that. Because I also just love revisiting old stuff. What I used to make on DeviantArt. Like, I made awful content before this channel, man. Like even the start of this channel, I'm like very like dismissive about. But preceding that, there was like a YouTube anime channel where I talked about anime, and I did not have the charisma for it at all. I was whispering into the mic, and that was not it.
Yeah.
So this is like the precursor to like the content I make now. I would make comedy skits where I would play different characters by myself, and I didn't know about like editing and J and L cuts. Like I would watch these videos and they would be like so fast and fluid. I'm like, whoa, how do you do that? And then I would emulate it, and it was so slow. And it was so boring. And I had like a wake up moment when I showed like an animator on the community in one of my old videos, and he just goes, "What are you showing me, dude? What is this?"
Oh God.
And I was like, oh, I need to nuke everything.
Yeah.
Like this is.
Oh, that's a little harsh. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it was like in jest, but there was definitely a part of me that's just like a single tear rolled down my cheek.
Yeah.
You know? Like
honesty's great. Criticism is really helpful, especially if you want to like improve. But it won't not sting at least a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Parkour. Ah.
What was so annoying at the time, after I had done this, I just laid there for 10 minutes. I was like, you know what? I just need to lay here for a bit. And then my friends were like, you good? I was like, yeah, I just love concrete.
And concrete.
And so I walked up to my parents after ages and was just like, hey, I just jumped off the balcony. I'm in excruciating pain. Can you help? And my mom, who was like, she was so mad that I had done something so stupid. We were at like a family gathering.
Oh my God.
And in that party, in that massive thing, I decided to do this. So my mom was like, I'm not helping you. Just refused to help me.
Oh my God.
Just didn't help me. I was like, what? I'm in so much pain. And she's like, yeah.
It's a character building moment.
Not even like Panadol, Tylenol, like anything to help with the pain. And she was like, nah.
Oh my God.
All right, bet. And so I just laid there inside in pain. And then I was on crutches for the rest of like the next few months just to help.
Jeez.
The moral of the story is don't jump off balconies. Don't do dumb stuff. And be better at parkour.
Yeah.
There's like so many horror stories of people like, jumping off a cliff into water head first and there's like a pipe underneath.
Oh.
Yeah, just don't like that.
I did that once with my knees. Like there's this river in my cousin's backyard that we would float down, and there's this part of the river that kind of like bulged and the water slowed down and you could kind of hang out there for a while. The rest of the river was like, it moves kind of fast. You kind of flow with it on tubes, but you can like stop and take a break at this one like bulge part. And then we did. And then like we were jumping into the water, and 1 inch below the water, there was just like a flat stone, like a big flat boulder. And I just jumped in knees first.
No.
And it just like, all of my weight onto my knees, like the pain that rang through my legs. Everybody just kind of was like, I was with us just like, you okay? And I was like, and then everybody waited for the pain to subside. Because like, what are you going to do at that point?
You've got good friends, Andy. If I had done that, my friends would have absolutely roasted me. They would have just pointed and laughed. They were like, this idiot, look at this guy.
They should have roasted me. Honestly, that was so silly of me to do.